It's Morphin time! Hey everybody, welcome back to Batkerm the Unknown. I'm your host, Batkerm. And today I wanted to take a minute and talk about the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Now, if you were a kid in the 90s, you couldn't go anywhere or turn on a TV without hearing about the Power Rangers. So, the Power Rangers was an amalgamation of everything that was cool in the 90s. It was a mixture of Saved by the Bell. It was a show that was filmed in Japan that was redubbed for English. It was a mixture of Godzilla monsters and giant fighting mech Zords. So it literally hit on all fronts to get as many people into it as possible, especially with robot dinosaurs too. So you like dinosaurs, you're in. You like Godzilla, you're in. You like giant fighting robots, you're in. You like martial arts? Karate blew up because of this show, I think, in the 90s, or maybe it was just karate in general. But how could you not love Power Rangers back in the 90s? So I was able to do some digging and I found some of my old Power Ranger toys in this crate right here. So I figured we'd take a video and take a minute to kind of go through, see what toys survived the years, see which ones are broken, and kind of go from there. So let's open this up and see what we got. All right, so opening this up. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. We have a bunch of instructions. So we have instructions for Tor the Shuttle Zord, and it even shows how all the other Zords connect to it. A little bit dirty, but that's pretty cool. Very interesting. We also have instructions for the Red Dragon Zord. Yeah, the Red Thunder Dragon Zord, because the Thunder Zords were the second iteration, I think. And I was lucky enough, my parents got me both sets. And this looks like the instructions for the Thunder Zords themselves. Because the second generation, they sold all the Zords except for the Red Power Rangers in one set. And then you had to buy the Red Dragon Zord by itself. And then you had to buy Tor, the Shuttle Zord, put them all on there. And then you had to buy the White Tiger Zord. So they were raking it in. And this is my original Saban in the original box. Now, this box is beat, and it looks like the stickers are starting to peel back a little bit. And I can even see where I beat this thing up so bad. But the thing that I love about this is, if you look, it's got Toyworks stickers on here. So Toyworks, I think, was a partner or a competitor to KB Toys. And we would always go here. Funny story about Power Rangers. I was with my mom, and we were in line one Christmas to get the Zords for my Christmas gift. That was going to be my big Christmas gift. So I kind of knew Santa wasn't a big thing. At that time, this was a gift from my parents, not Santa. So my parents were going to get the big gifts, not Santa. So that was a fun memory for me with my mom standing out in line. Trying to get some of these toys. So we're not going to, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and see how bad Saban is, because I bet you these batteries corroded like crazy in here if I didn't take them out. The styrofoam is still there. The tape has started to yellow. Goodness gracious. Oh, look. So you could just do that. Oh, no. That corroded pretty bad. Okay, so, oh, his jaw would even move too. That's pretty cool. So maybe we'll take a look at that in a little while. Oh, it looks like all you had to do was take those out, spin them like this, and then you could put these in. Oh, that's not bad. So even the styrofoam that this originally came with is still in here. I can't believe my parents saved all this stuff. That's really cool. But yeah, so it looks like I don't have the instructions for it, but other than that, it's still pretty good. So that's our first kit. And as I understand it, if you guys know something different in the comments down below, let me know. But I think they even got, oh my goodness, I remember these guys. So some stuffed animals we have here, or some stuffed characters. So I loved Zach. He was my favorite until Tommy showed up in the Green Ranger. So I remember they had a bunch of stuffed animals or stuffed characters. And of course I had to have Zach. Love Zach. But this one was pretty stiff. So when they released a Green Ranger version, his arms could actually move freely, which I thought was really cool. Does his head move? No. But I thought this was awesome. So these are pretty cool. These started to yellow a little bit on his belt, on his boots. But all in all, I'm surprised the Green Ranger one isn't worse off. So we'll go ahead and set those over there. Oh my. So we also have some of the gloves. Oh no, did we even leave the batteries in here? Oh, it's like a watch battery. So maybe these aren't corroded. Oh, these definitely started to yellow though. These are so tiny. Another thing that I loved about the Power Rangers, for one Halloween, I wanted to be Zach, but the only costume we could get was Billy's. But I loved Billy as well. So I went as Billy, the Blue Ranger, for Halloween. And I'll see if I can find some pictures for this video. I don't know if I'm going to have time, but there's definitely a video of me behind our house doing a martial arts pose. And I was so upset that I had to put on sneakers because I had white socks to match the boots. So I put on sneakers, and for me, it took me out of the illusion of being a Power Ranger because I had to have shoes on, and I had to go trick-or-treating that way. So that was one memory I had. This is also very cool. This is a Green Ranger watch. I don't even know if this will fit anymore, but that's very cool. So it's got like a thunder green lightning as the minute hand that ticks. That's pretty cool. I like the tin that comes in. Is there anything else in here? No. So that's pretty cool. Probably just needs a watch battery, but that's interesting. Next, oh my, I remember breaking this as a kid. This was the Ranger Blaster, and I forget what I did, but I snapped the back of this off. I did, as an adult, the retro stuff does kick in. I remembered breaking this from back in the day. I totally bought the new die-cast version. It's over there. So I knew I broke this as a kid. I remembered breaking it. I was heartbroken when it happened. But I remember this. Oh, that's gooey. All the stuff is breaking down now from all the years of storage and everything else. But I remember you could have the sword, and I even stuck a Halloween sticker on here. And for those that don't know me, I absolutely love Halloween. So let's see what else we got in here. All right, so just like with comics, your heroes are only as good as your villains, right? So they had an awesome, colorful cast of villains for this series, for the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I absolutely love these guys. This weapon goes to one of them, and I don't remember. I want to say it's maybe the fish guy. This might go in his hand here. Maybe. I don't know. But one of them gets this thing. The other thing that I always thought was weird was this guy. I'm blanking on all their names. I remember this is Finster. This is either Squat or Baboo. I want to say it's Baboo. But the weird thing was this guy came with the sword that Goldar usually had, which even as a kid, I remembered was weird. And I could tell, like, this is Goldar's sword. Why does he have it? It's just something they did with the Japanese show. And as I understand, all the same molds, when Saban bought all this stuff, like the rights to the show and everything, they also got the molds for the toys. So that's why all the toys that were made are like used from the molds from the Japanese original toys. So that goes for these as well, as far as I know. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. But I love these guys. They were so colorful. They would always get beat up. I mean, look at Finster. He's missing an ear, and this guy, I think, had a feather coming out of his cap. I don't know if it fell off from storage or if it just broke, but these guys look awesome. They're so colorful, and I'm surprised that these two and these two look brand new still. So I'm very happy to have these guys. What a blast from the past. All right, let's keep going. Guys, it is a full-fledged dude party right here. So these are all the guy figures. I know the girls at this time, for whatever reason, I think they produce less of the girl Kimberly and Trini figures. For whatever reason, I know I have them. They're just not in this crate because I still have the boxes for those two. My parents, I don't know how they did it. They had to throw some bows or know someone. I think I had a cousin that worked at Kmart at the time because these were so sought after. You had to wait in line just to like get a ticket to attempt to buy one of these. And again, I don't know the production numbers or anything like that, but whenever they would produce the guys, they would produce more of the guys and fewer girl numbers because they thought boys were going to be buying these. So Kimberly and Trini, The girls not only wanted them, but all the boys did too, because they wanted to complete the set. They just made fewer of them. So at the time, they were very more sought after. So those are still in the boxes that I have. Tommy, his two figures, you would get with the Zords. So this Green Ranger would come with the Dragon Zord, and this White Ranger would come with the White Tiger Zord. If I remember correctly, I think I do. So they would be in like a little window in the corner when you bought the Zords. So the only way to get these two would be to buy the Zords that go with them. As a kid, I was very impressed with the articulation. Even with these guys now, as I understand, these are all based off of the original Japanese molds. So, this is an exact version of what they would have in Japan when Super Sentai was there, which is what they called the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in Japan. And it was like the 15th season, 16th, 17th. It was going for a long time. So they just, took whatever they had in Japan and brought it over, including the molds. So these figures, I think they're very classic. Their hands open and shut, which I didn't see a lot of. I think at the time they had Power of the Force Star Wars action figures, and they were 5 points of articulation. The head would move, the arms were stuck in a certain pose, and they would go like this, and their legs could go forward and backward. So having figures like this, they would bend at the knee, so you can kind of see their hips move. They have ankle articulation. I think they had a swivel at the knee joint, like above the knee. Like I said, their hands would open and close. So the hands here, not only would they open and close to hold weapons, but you can close these three fingers and still have the trigger finger out. I don't know if you're able to see that. And the thumb was stuck in place. So the trigger finger, if they were holding a gun or a blaster at that time, they could have their finger on the trigger and it would just be a little bit more realistic. All the characters came with a blaster from the original set, including Tommy, which always kind of bugged me. He should have had the Dragon Dagger, I thought. But again, it was just a reproduction of the Japanese versions. But they could actually open their hand and then close it and grip the blaster. It wasn't a good grip, but they could hold it. But you could get them in very dynamic poses from what I remember. And the Green Ranger here, his shield was always really shiny, which I loved. And this piece would come off, and you could even see the Dragon Zord symbol right there, kind of like with all the others, which I thought was also very unique because they never really had their symbols on their chest in the show. But as a kid, you didn't really care. And Tommy, as a White Ranger, did the same thing. His popped off, but he didn't have the symbol, which I thought was cool. He also has a gold belt, and he actually comes with Saban. So it's the appropriate size for him. I really wish the Green Ranger would have come with a Dragon Dagger, but it is what it is. It was the first gen, and I don't think they were going to... I know they were hoping it would blow up, but I don't think they knew that it was going to explode like it did. So this was the first set. I do have the girls, but there must be in another crate. They're still in their boxes. But then they released a second wave of figures, and they had a karate action. So they're still very articulated. They can still get into dynamic poses, except one limb would be different. So with Jason, the Red Ranger, his was a leg. So they had buttons in the back, and you could press them, and yeah, he would kick. Now, you could still use that limb, but it would kind of go back into like that, stance. So you'd have, if you wanted to get him in a certain pose, it was a little bit more difficult. I think Zach's Black Ranger figure did the same thing. Same leg, same limb. So I didn't like that. But Billy, he had a karate chop action. So his right hand is fixed in like, a knife hand strike. So again, you push his button and he would chop. So a lot of fun with these figures. He was able to stand a little bit easier, but again, he wouldn't be able to hold anything in that hand, which, if you put a blaster in there, he couldn't hold it with that hand. So he was at least easier to stand, but from what I recall as a kid, I liked playing with these guys because I could pose them in different ways, and I was kind of stuck with, the action posing figures, or the karate chop action figures. And again, they were a little bit harder to get into a pose. versus just the plain ones. So let's keep going. All right, guys, so remember how I told you about the Blue Ranger costume? Well, here's the belt that came with it, and it is falling apart just on this table. So it looks like some foam around here, and I thought this was all white. It may have been at some point, but now it is changing colors, and it is falling apart all on this tablecloth. So just wanted to show you would just tie it in the back. It was very rudimentary, but that is literally falling apart on the table. One of the big things that I was really looking forward to in this crate, which I'm glad that I found it, they released a box of all the Rangers weapons when I was a kid, and here they all are. So you could get the original Power Rangers, you could get the like Saban that we saw, you could also get Tommy's Dragon Dagger, which I have somewhere else in another crate. I beat the bejesus out of that one. That one's broken bad. But these were actually really cool because they would come in a box and they could form the large blaster. But I always thought I love Zach, so I beat the bejesus out of this one too. This I always thought was the coolest because not only is it an axe, but even as a toy, like this is beefy. Like this, if you were a kid and you were running around or, you're playing with your friends, this could do some damage to a kid. Like it's got rubberized pieces here and there. It looks like this piece is just warped from all the years in a certain pose. But if you hit a kid with this one, you could do some damage. And I always felt like I could do some damage with this thing, which is probably why I liked it so much. But also the other really cool part is it's got a little lever right here. So you pull the lever and it turns into his blaster, which how cool of a gun or how cool of a specialized weapon is that? Your Power Rangers already have blasters. You give them a melee weapon, but then the melee weapon turns into a gun. Like, how cool is that? These others couldn't do that. They were all just, martial. Well, this one was a bow, but I think she used this as, melee weapon too. But needless to say, but they could actually combine to form it. So I remember as a kid, I would do that a lot. So you could push this button and this will actually grip right there. That'll come up right there. I forget the order. Billy's size that he had, you could actually extend these a little bit more. I always wanted there to be a way to like connect them so you can kind of have his staff as well, which I thought would have been cool. You might be able to do it. I've never been able to figure it out. If that actually happens with these, let me know in the comments down below. But anyway, these were small enough. I hope I don't break this, because this could be pretty brittle. So, yep. So Billy's would snap right there. Oh, please don't break. Okay, so that's right. Oh, he fell off. Maybe I didn't have it on right, or this thing's gonna. I could break this on camera. I may break down. All right, I think we're good. I think we're good. So then Trini, these things are so tiny. But again, with, Billy's, and I guess it's just weak on that side. I just want to show this was rubberized on Zach's. Billy's size are rubberized. Kimberly's bow is rubberized on the end. And Trini's are rubberized right here. Let's try this again. All right, so that was a good snap. So Trini's would go like this, so long as I don't break it. All right, let's try it over here. Yeah, that side just doesn't want to hang on to Billy's. All right, yeah, this is not like the show. Maybe it goes like that. Does it go like that? Maybe it goes like that. Okay. Oh, that does look pretty cool like that. And then, of course, there's Jason's sword, which a little while ago, they finally released an actual version of this where I think it's like 1-to-1 scale. But again, this, it lights up, has some cool noises. I always wanted to get that, but it was so hard to come by. You go through different stages in life. You're buying a house, you're doing this. By the time you look at stuff and you have money that you can actually spend, it's gone. So now that, sword has skyrocketed in price. They recently started to re-release some of the stuff. Like this was, I think, the first helmet they released, which I did get signed by Austin St. John. Absolutely love it. but it's got a dull finish. So recently they released it so that it has a glossy finish, kind of like how the White Ranger does. So I'm hoping they keep doing that, because I would love a Zach helmet, or even just the original Rangers. I'd love to have a shelf of just all their helmets. So I have the red one, I have the White Ranger, I have a Green Ranger over there as well. So I'm waiting for Zach's helmet now. I would love Zach to have a helmet out, Billy. I'd love for them all to have helmets, because I think that would be awesome. Now that I'm an adult, you know, I would love to go back and still relive my childhood as an adult. So yeah, so then there's Jason's sword, and it's all on there. I thought it would have been really cool if this had batteries on it, and then you can kind of pull the trigger here. It has like a little trigger. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it doesn't even press into anywhere. You got to use your imagination as a kid, but I always thought this was pretty cool. So let's go ahead. Before we go, this is also my original Morpher, which I think I played with it so much it won't even close anymore. Has no battery. The battery is weird in this thing. It's like a weird size. It's you know, it didn't leak or anything. It's just such a weird size. I got to try to find a replacement and see if that'll work. But that one just made noise. The newer die-cast one is pretty sweet. I like that. And then there's also a newer one that's a little bit more realistic to the show. It's not as heavy as this. And I think it's more realistic to what they actually look like, or it'll be more realistic. It won't be as heavy or feel as heavy duty as this one. I think this was their earlier version that they released. But the newer one comes with a display stand that you can display all the coins, which is really, really cool. But yeah, let's keep on going and see what else we can find. All right, guys, and here are the first 5 Zords with the Dragon Zord from back in the day. So I don't know if you're like me or not, but I definitely underappreciated the I guess, I don't want to say skill and craftsmanship or just the detail, because there's just a bunch of stickers, but really how they looked from back in the day, because there's a lot of stuff going on here. They got lightning bolts all over the place. The detail with you know, some of these, I always just wanted to build the Megazord. Anybody else wanted to just do that? So I love looking at these, how they are now. I know I lost some pieces, so I know the Triceratops here, his horns, God knows where they got to, but I know that's a very common piece to lose. But I still even have the power sword, so at least I have that. Let's go ahead and see if I can build this back up to the Megazord. Putting it together, because then it'll at least be on camera. I'm not going to do it how they do in the show. There is a really cool thing that these can do. I know if you watch the show back on, was it Fox Kids? I think it was Fox Kids. They would always have the Megazord roll in, and all of them would be together at one point. Like even the pterodactyl is on the back. Oh, which leg was which? I don't remember which leg was which. Is it that one and that one? Guys, don't hate me in the comments. It's been years since I've opened these up, but at least I was able to do it. Let's see if, you know, the last bit. All right, and I never they used this like once as a shield. Once, that was it. So I mean, it's still cool to have, but they used it once. So I never used the mammoth head, but the power sword I did. So, and look at it, towers over the Dragon Zord, because I always thought this one was massive in of itself, but really this thing is, I know some people say that the Millennium Falcon is the best toy ever made, but for me, I gotta say it's the original Megazord. everything snaps together so easily, and it transforms so easily. I can't say the last time I did that. This has been in storage for God knows how long. But I still remembered how to do it. Like, it snaps. The articulation for the arms isn't great, but you can put it in some, you know, I want to say some classic poses, but really that's it. But this is a hoss of a toy. But even, you can still get some kicks out of it. You can do that. It's a toy that's 5 toys in one with extra. And then if you buy more toys, you can, you know, mix and match. Like, I know there was one Megazord where it was these guys for the legs, and I think the Mastodon for the arms. So there's a whole bunch of Transformers, you know, mixture stuff that you can do that's really, really cool. So for me, this was the ultimate toy back when I was a kid. And this is the only Zord that I still don't have the box for. So my parents wanted me to save all the boxes because they thought, you know, you never know with how much we're fighting to get these toys. The toys could be worth money someday. Well, this is the one box I didn't save. So I don't know if that's a good thing, bad thing, or what, but I am so grateful to still have these in my collection. All right, guys, so what did you think? I had so much fun opening this box and going down memory lane. I remember playing with these toys as a kid. What was something from your childhood that just brings back all those feels? Do you still have some toys, whether it be Cabbage Patch, Power Rangers, Polly Pocket, Mighty Max, anything that you can think of that you played with as a kid? Let me know down in the comments down below. Do you still have your Power Rangers stuff? Are you collecting the newer stuff that comes out, like these life-size helmets? I know as a kid, I would go nuts if they released something like this. This is something that I always wanted as a kid, and now I have as an adult. So basically, I'm a big kid. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys are into, what brings back the member berries for you, and we can discuss a little bit like that. Did you like this video? If you did, let me know down in the comments down below. I can search for that other crate. I know there's at least one more full of Power Ranger stuff. Not only that, but being the name Batkerm, I have a awesome Batman collection, and I have a crate that we can dig into with awesome Batmobiles, other cars that were never featured, and some other stuff that's rare and sought after. So if you want to see me break into that guy, let me know in the comments down below. I had so much fun again. I know I keep on saying it, but this was really a lot of fun. Some of this stuff is beat up, broken, but it's still my childhood. So thank you for reliving these memories with me. You guys are awesome. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'm Batkerm, and I'll see you in the next one. Batkerm out.